Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Ghetto, run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel who really love rights. So just a and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I she never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war crime. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do that righteousness. Hey, we love. And we love Jaja. And we love Jaja. And we love Jaja. We love Jaja. We love Jaja. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I say, watch a man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I and I should never hold thy peace, while we penalize day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari. We love all, and we love Jah, Jah. Me love Jaja, me love Jaja, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jaja, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight, and then DJ Twink.
Corruption is a vile.
Good morning. Welcome to Let's Protest. I honestly struggled this morning to put my introductory monologue together mentally in my head, because this literally is just too much for one person. And that's why all of us this morning will be listening to the PAC committee together. There's about 30 to 40 minutes of it that I want us to painstakingly listen to this morning, because while we are defending them, on both sides of the coin, they come together to steal from us and to always defraud us out of our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars. It's business as usual. Tiffin Donovan is back at work. You just couldn't make it up. It's too much. I don't know why Abena sent me over there to watch, because it is literally too much for one ears. I mean, the Jamaica Labour Party administration, when you watch the PAC committee, it's not only that the base of the party is dunce, the governance structure of the party is dunce, but the public sector workers, which they put in place to make sure the administrative and the operational side of government really works. I mean, you've never seen dunce like these before. God Almighty. No, sir. You see why nothing don't work? Because their interest, their main interest is stealing. You hear me? From the base up to the top of governance structure in the Jamaica Labour Party, their main role is stealing. That is why nothing barring stealing no go on there. Tell Mark Golden to line up now. Because when we're done with them, we're going to turn over the old house, the old house with the old was Red Peggy I'll start our turnover this morning. Globalist Honor, morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome. Happy Cosmic New Year to you all. For those of us who don't follow the Western bullshit, this April is our new year when life has re-emerged. Spring is here. The trees are blossoming and the place looks lively again. This is nature's new year. The time for us to start sowing again and leave the white man's bullshit behind. Debbie Jarvis TV, good morning and welcome. Pamela Akola, good morning. Laverne, good morning. Sheena Kelly, Gloria Morris, Evan Miller, good morning. Wayne Evans, Sabina Sarkodi, good morning. Joan Bailey, Barbara Simpson, Gloria Swaby, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Lynette Jenkins, good morning. Good morning. Pamela Akola, good morning. Good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning. Carlton Barnes, Evan Bradford, Ladybug, Leonie Denton, Opal Watson, Miss Jamopton, good morning, and welcome. Colleen, good morning. We're going to first start with the article we did on the BIM and BAM. Nothing now happen in our country, you know. Nothing now go happen at Neil Nicholson. Nothing now go happen in our country. Because to say, when everybody from top to bottom, main purpose is stealing. Now you realize why not happening in our country. Let's go to the article. Because we're not going to stand out long this morning because we have all the parangathan to go on with this morning. Because we're going to speak to Mark Golden about the people them we might choose. And Mark Golden decision making. You know, given what came out of the PAC committee yesterday, the only reason, and maybe they find a riddle room, the only reason why the PNP, the JLP rather, wouldn't be having a press conference and Dennis Gordon today is because Christopher Tufton is so implicated in all of this shenanigan. That's the only reason. If the Jamaica Labour Party today does not have a press conference on Dennis Gordon, that would be the only reason how heavily the thief, the criminal, the murderer, Dr. Tufton, is implicated in the tax exemption fraud. Let's go to the article. Because we want to, if you listen to PAC, because I can't hear message them. I always telling them I can't translate bullshit. Me never got a school there. Colin, how you do? There's certain things you have to listen to for yourself. There's certain things me can't translate for you because the problem with Abinata Code put me in a way me don't understand a thing. Me not understand what we're going to in the mashallah, you know. They were just all over the place. I mean, how is it that you're the ones who are doing the administrative and the operational side of things, but you don't know what you're doing? The Auditor General know more than you. The chair of PAC know more than you. Even Juliet Cockburn-Finn was asking some good questions yesterday. I mean, who are these people? These pile of dunce, ready-made, come in a package, high shelf duns where you have to tiptoe if you take down off a shelf. These are not duns where you go on the counter for, you know. These people at the Ministry of Health and at University Hospital are not people you go on the counter, go draw out. You tiptoe, turn up on stool, turn up on keg. You know, turn up on a mackerel keg to reach the top shelf. Yes. Turn up on the mackerel keg to reach the top shelf and look what we take down. Look what we take down off a top shelf. But let's go to the article because we have to go to the PAC committee. Lord Jesus. Whoa. And Jamaica people don't want to understand the world when nothing go on at Jamaica. But then again, Jamaica always a happen. Happen and go on is two different things, you know. Jamaica people. Happen and go on. Two different things.
Institutional rot or administrative oversight. The UHWI tax exemption scandal hits Parliament. April 1st, 2026. The hallowed halls of Gordon House witnessed a tense and revealing session yesterday as the Public Accounts Committee delved into the murky waters of procurement breaches and tax irregularities at the University Hospital of the West Indies. What began as a routine examination of the Auditor General's performance audit quickly escalated into a scathing indictment of administrative negligence that has reportedly cost the Jamaican taxpayer over $20 million in lost customs revenue. A culture of illegal borrowing. The core of yesterday's discussion centered on a startling revelation. The UHWI management had been routinely allowing private entities to borrow its charitable tax-exempt status. This enabled private companies to import high-value goods, including medical equipment like dialysis machines, without paying the mandatory customs duties and taxes. Acting CEO Eric Hosen, under heavy fire from PAC members, admitted that the hospital is now being held liable by the Jamaica Customs Agency for these unpaid fees. In a twist that defies logic, the Auditor General found that after these companies imported the goods tax-free, the UHWI then purchased the very same items from them at market prices. Effectively, the hospital subsidized the private profit of third-party vendors while simultaneously being left with the tax bill. The convenient loss of records. Compounding the scandal is the revelation that critical files regarding multi-million-dollar contracts have gone missing. In a defense that was met with open skepticism by the PAC, a senior UHWI official blamed flood damage for the destruction of these essential documents. Critically, the PAC noted that the timing of this environmental disaster is highly suspicious, occurring exactly as auditors began digging into the procurement history of the hospital. The inability to produce these records severely hampers the ability of the Integrity Commission and MOCA to trace the paper trail of who authorized these specific exemptions and under what terms. The Big Four, the companies under the lens. Yesterday's session finally pulled back the curtain on the four primary players involved in this irregular arrangement. 1. Jacden Limited, owned by opposition MP Dennis Gordon. This company is at the center of the controversy regarding the importation of dialysis machines. The proximity of a sitting lawmaker to such an irregular tax arrangement has raised significant ethical and political questions. 2. Supreme Laundry Services, implicated in using the hospital's status to bypass standard importation costs. 3. Wilman Sales, identified as one of the beneficiaries of the unauthorized tax exemptions. 4. Scientific Medical Services, a key player in the medical supply chain that allegedly benefited from the hospital's charitable umbrella. Critical analysis, accountability or apathy. The PAC session was not merely about the what, but the how. How did a major teaching hospital operate for years with such a blatant disregard for financial regulations? Criminal implications. With MOCA now collecting statements from staff, the shift from administrative oversight to criminal investigation is complete. The financial burden. Because the UHWI is the entity with the tax-exempt status, the law holds them responsible. This means public funds intended for patient care will now likely be diverted to pay back millions in taxes that private companies evaded. Institutional failure. The PAC's interrogation suggests a deep-seated culture of non-compliance. The flood damage excuse for missing files is seen by many as a classic stall tactic in Jamaican public sector scandals, pointing to an urgent need for digitized off-site record-keeping. Moving forward, yesterday's proceedings suggest that the days of business as usual at the UHWI are over. However, the true test of the PAC's effectiveness will be whether this leads to actual recovery of funds and prosecution of those who facilitated the scheme. As it stands, the Jamaican public is left watching as a vital healthcare institution struggles not just with a shortage of beds, but with a severe deficit of integrity.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you check, maybe my information is wrong. The check that I've done, I can't find much on Wildman sales and medical services. But correct me if I'm wrong, is Supreme Laundry Services coming up for you as a subsidiary for the same Jacden? Is it that two of these companies is related to Dennis Gordon? Hold that thought until after the PAAC, which we will go to know. Because me can give a breakdown, explanation, or a synopsis for you of what took place in Parliament yesterday. But it is disheartening. Yes, two are associated with Jacden. That's the Supreme Laundry and the Jacden group of companies. Everybody has scam we know Jamaica. Nobody know the power side, you know. You know, hear me say me not protect neither labor right or PNP around here. Because Dr. Tufton and Dennis Gordon come together and chip way out of money. And that's how the buck go. Me don't know if I want to know say that's how the buck go. And Dennis Gordon lied and lied and lied. Wait till we get to Mark Golden. Let us go to the PAC committee. Let's go to the PAC committee. We'll get around to Mark Golden and Dennis Gordon in a bit.
Activities for each quarter, and these will also be sent to the CEO for action. Thank you, member.
So you're saying that in that particular instance where the CEO, there's an issue with contract approval by the CEO, that such a report was also sent to the CEO for action?
Not specifically speaking to that particular issues. I'm saying, member, that were similar issues.
But that is what you're saying would happen when you have a report about an irregularity. It goes to the CEO and the chairman of the audit committee of the board.
Yes, member.
No, in Dennis Gordon, it's not just about paying back the tax. There's political implications to that. There is a political implication to Christopher Tufton and Dennis Gordon. It's not just about paying back the tax. Because all of we can just commit crime and pay retribution at the lower level or at the get-out level.
For action to be taken?
Yes, member.
Member Morrison.
Thank you, Chair. Sometimes the public...
This is Mrs. Bucket. Mrs. Buquet, B-U-C-K-E-T, Buquet.
You know, they are watching the PAC, and sometimes they need to follow closely, and I'm going to ensure that they follow. We're looking at audit findings here. And just let me highlight a few, and this is for the interest of those watching. Procurement documentation not provided for 51 of 11 contracts, of 111 contracts. contracts approved by CEO without documented evidence of evaluation or procurement committee review. Procurement processes conducted after delivery.
Sorry, globalists, bear with. Oh, why this thing is freezing. Bear with globalists. Why on earth this
Inefficiency, and which, of course, I'm of the view, created the facility for all of these breaches. Now, let us look at management's response, which I am of the view.
Just procedurally,
Right.
before you came in, what I intended to do was go through them one by one.
Hold on, Chair.
Yeah.
Allow me. I'm getting there. I'm of the view that the management's response in this instance is somewhat in parts incongruous. 28 missing files located, efforts ongoing to locate missing files, instructions issued to discontinue identified practices, and so on. What were the consequent actions pertinent to these breaches identified in the audit findings, and who is complicit and or culpable, and what is the head of procurement saying in these matters? Thank you.
Well, I'll invite the acting CEO to comment, and as he said, he's new to the position, but he can.
That's fine.
But the team is here that can support him.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, member. I did state in my opening remarks, I'm not sure if you're here, that there is a committee formed by the board, the Catherine Phipps Committee, that is investigating the matters related to the Auditor General's report and to identify staff members who may be liable or culpable in the instances, and then make recommendation as to the actions that should be taken. There is also the police.
You're not too late, Violet, not too late.
Along with the Integrity Commission, who are doing their investigation to identify where there may be anything related to any illegal practice and to take the necessary action. So we are awaiting those response. As I explained, Mr. Chair, we have received one report only from Customs to date, and they have said they will be coming to us with the others. And we received that just on Friday of last week, sorry. So there are
no chronicles, not if Dennis Gordon is involved. Two of Dennis Gordon company is involved, the Jacden group of companies and Supreme Launcher Services, which is a subsidiary of Jacden. He is implicated. He lied to the public about, we'll get to that though. We will get to that. Bear with globalists. This thing is just playing me about, and it's been playing. All right, all man in Ancina would come with the shenanigans. But
so we have all day.
I have another meeting.
Yeah, I know, but I want, the reason I want to do it finding by finding, I don't want to go to 4, then come back to 1, etc. Make we go finding by finding. Trust me, we're going to go through everything.
But I'm not understanding how is it the system? There must be a system there, and how is it that documentation were not able to be found?
Hold it. Yes, I have your concern too, you know. Believe you me, but I'm going to get to it. Let's just do the key finding number 1: absence of strategic documents and procurement planning. Now, I've seen in the management's response that reports for 26, 27, etc. have been done. Now, my question is, and the acting CEO may not know, but for those who would have worked there before, were there reports done for the last 10 years? Procurement reports, strategic plans, etc. before this? I see what is being done now, but what would have existed for 10, 15 years before this? And I don't know who can answer that question for me.
the records does not indicate that this was being consistently done. And in fact, for the period that the Auditor General reviewed, there were some that were done but were not properly approved. And so it was considered as not being done. And what we have done, however, is that the 26-27 has now gone through the procedures, the proper procedures of approval, and has been approved by the board for 26-27. The strategic plan, 26-27. The operational plan, the strategic plan, and the procurement plans have all gone through the necessary required procedure and have now been approved.
Can I ask, when was the last time an external audit was done of the university hospital?
The last one was done for 2018-2019. It was done by KPMG. The one currently being done that will, as I had mentioned, will recommence in April is for 2019-2020, and for 2020 to 2025, that was tendered, and a firm has been selected, but we are awaiting the completion. Some work will take place on the 20 to 25, but we are awaiting the finalization of the 19 to 2020 in order to move forward.
And maybe Ministry of Finance, is it a requirement that this should be an annual exercise for the external audits? We're going to come back to that because there are a number of public bodies that I know are very delinquent in terms of their annual reports and audited financials, but we have to pay attention to the ones where there are billions of dollars being spent. And this is one such case where we're spending billions of dollars. So let me ask members, any other questions on, yes, Member Brown, key finding 1.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I see where the Auditor General in the audit findings related to this particular one would have said that there was a failure to provide strategic plans, despite having hired and paid 2 consultants, USD $186,000, or approximately 30 million, and she referenced it earlier on in our opening remarks. That that was paid out, and they still can't find any document. I don't know if it should be directed to the CEO. I know you are new, but I know you have officers behind you. You have your full team here. What happened? How that go? Could you also name the consultants, the 2 consultants, and what their purview, what were their responsibility? Give us an overview. But $30 million were paid to 2 consultants, and the Auditor General can't find no reports or nothing. So could you give us an update as to what is happening? And if you could name who those consultants were and what they actually did.
Okay, there are 2 firms that were employed. One was to help with the strategic plan, and that contract was for approximately 90 million. Hey! And then of the 186, it was 50% of the contract for the other person was the other 90 million. Sorry, no, it says in total has been paid out is 186,000 US. 90,000, sorry, 90,000 would have been paid to one to do the strategic plan, which was done. What could not be provided was the report from the second consultant, which in fact we have subsequently provided to the Auditor General and to the ministry. They were contracted because their contract could not be located at the time, as well as we were able to obtain a preliminary report from them in February of this year, and also a copy of the contract. They signed the contract. So there was a contract but not signed. We were able to provide a copy of the signed contract and the preliminary report from the second. And the second one was there to provide an operation plan as well as a turnaround plan for the hospital in terms of its validity from a standpoint, because at this moment it is not in the best shape.
So,
and yes.
So the signed contract was done after the findings of the Auditor General. That's what you're saying?
No, It was this
Because you say you couldn't find
it was
but
recovered. It was found
Okay.
after, but it was signed before the Auditor General's finding.
How do we know?
But it wasn't presented. It was not presented. So it was there. What we are seeing, it was signed before, but it was not presented to the audit. The contract, the signed contract, was not presented to the Auditor General.
I think, can the Auditor General respond to that, please? Because
All right, I just need a bit of clarification. What is it that was present, that was missing, that was found?
The signed contract?
The contract.
Yes.
Okay, so are we speaking about the contract or the strategic plan?
the strategic plan as well as the two consultants who were hired.
Oh, the consultant. Right. So, okay, fine. All right. So let me speak about the strategic plan and the operational review, because we spoke about not seeing an approved strategic plan.
Yes.
So an entity was engaged to undertake a strategic review.
That's right.
And transformational review as well.
Yes.
No. One was
strategic and operational.
No,
review.
one was for operation and turnaround. One was for strategic and transformational.
Yes.
And produce a transformational plan.
Yes.
But that's not a strategic plan.
Right.
So we did not see the strategic plan. My colleague is letting me know that the intent was to use the strategic review and transformational plan to inform the strategic plan, but we didn't see an approved strategic plan. No, for the operations review.
Sorry, just for clarity here, you used the word approved a couple of times. Is it that it existed but was not approved by the entity?
It was not approved by the board.
It wasn't approved by the board,
no.
But it existed.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So it's all draft, but no.
Okay, so there was a draft report.
The draft presented to the board, but the board did not accept it and did not approve it.
Okay.
Right.
But the second one,
the operations review
and the turnaround.
Development of the turnaround plan. We have not seen the turnaround plan. We haven't seen that plan. But last week, we received a draft operations review document.
That is correct, along with the signed contract between us and the person doing that.
Okay, so we were of the impression that the consultant failed to provide the document at the time that it should have been provided, but they submitted
last week
in February 2026.
So
that's my understanding.
Let me, so I can be clear. There were two consultants engaged.
That's right.
One provided a plan which went to the board but was not approved by the board.
Strategic plan.
The strategy wasn't approved by the board, but they delivered something, but the board didn't sign off on it. The second one, you said the document itself was just provided 2 months ago, February, last month?
And my understanding is that it was submitted, the draft, what we saw, a draft document that,
February.
Right. And let's just put this into context, because this contract was 2024 and the document should have, because as you know, a turnaround means that you need to address something. So it should have been produced 4 months after we received it last.
Yeah, so the question is on the second one, was the consultant fully paid?
No. He has been paid 50%. So the first one, the total amount was approximately 90,000 US. On the second one, the total amount is approximately 180,000 US. So the first one was paid 90, and the second one was paid another 90, which comes up to about the 186,000. Now, so the second one has received half the payment. We were up to the time when I came, we had not received any report, but he provided.
Bear with globalists. Bear with. Gotta go get Wasara. It is going to get worse.
Was paid 90, and the second one was paid another 90, which comes up to about the 186,000. Now, so the second one has received half the payment. We were up to the time when I came, we had not received any report, but he provided us with an interim draft report.
Hold on, Mr. Hossein. When was he contracted, or she?
In 2024.
So it took 2 years and the Auditor General report.
End of 2024, sorry.
2 years on the Auditor General report to get a draft. Then get 50% money?
50%.
Yeah, but it's 50% of his money.
Yes.
For the entity to get something?
That is correct.
The Lord,
Oh, boy.
the land.
All right. I just wanted to be clear, because that is crazy.
More than
That you could pay 50% almost 2 years, and only because the Auditor General goes in that he produces that report after getting 50% of money. Madness that.
Total madness.
Madness
It points again to a broader systemic problem. Member Morrison would have raised the full listing. Yes. Yeah. It points again to a fundamental problem, which I don't want to blame you or the hospital officers directly, but there is a need for, and as we deep dive into further things, because Chairman, we may have to come back.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of issues that are here that needs to be properly ventilated, as Member Morrison is saying, so that the public understands it. But what is being painted is just, a free-for-all and a broad
money making
yes. Thank you.
I remember Miller.
You just had jail with so.
I want to find out how often is their procurement committee in place? How often do they meet? And why is it that there was no procurement plan in place? And how the procurement committee went about approving contracts if you don't have records? So I don't know if you'll be able to help me or
Yes. The procurement committee meets every fortnight on a scheduled basis, but there are circumstances that may require them to meet even within that time period because of urgency of matters. They will, what is presented to them, anything over the 3 million threshold that the Ministry of Finance highlighted would have to go and be reviewed by them. And that is what they use to operate. There are minutes of their meetings. There in the past, some were not, things as the auditors said, were not in the minutes because they were not presented to the procurement committee for review.
So how did the procurement committee go about approving the contracts if documents weren't presented?
Well, they didn't approve anything. It didn't come to them, so they would not have approved or rejected anything.
So the procurement committee then just existed and met and did not approve anything?
No.
Let me understand.
No. There are circumstances, there are things highlighted by the Auditor General and by our internal audit where, in fact, items that were processed did not go through the proper.
Jamaica, these are your mackerel tins on the top shelf. These are not the salted mackerel that you would go under the counter to open the bucket to take out. No, these are your top shelf tin mackerels.
Procedure, which include a procurement committee having received it, reviewed it, and made a decision on it.
Very well. So the procurement committee then was circumvented in this process?
In some cases.
All right, member corporate.
Yeah, I just want to I want to place on record, because we hear of these things too often about companies who are, hired to, to do something. And when taxpayers' money is being spent, there's this disregard for taxpayers' money. And I just want to kind of put it out there that, I hope that, and I hope we don't continue to see these things happening, especially with what we're finding now. And I know that we have seen this happen over and over again. And it is quite telling that people really don't see government spending as anything, you know, important. And I guess they just take it as something simple as, oh, it's taxpayers' money, so it's free money. And it is, I really hope that going forward, systems are put in place where we're not just paying a company $90,000 US dollars, getting nothing for it, and it's just a brush off kind of a thing.
And a nothing.
And a nothing. I really hope that we wake up from this dream. We really wake up from this going forward and not take taxpayers' money as some sort of a free money.
A labor writer said this, you know, governments, a labor writer said so. Look, don't make me argue over the like button this morning. Please, I beg. No, say me come out, you have to riot this morning. Don't make it fall down in a phone or lap. Please, and thanks. Oh.
We have to hold people accountable. We have to start holding people accountable. And that this is not, my taxpaying dollar is not free.
Fully agree with you. All right, I want to go to key finding number 2. Non-compliance with Government of Jamaica, JEP portal requirements for procurement. And I have seen the response. I see there was a circular dated June 3rd, 2023. But it seemed that circular was disregarded, and then there was a memoranda. I assume this date should be October 5th, 2025, not 2026, right? But again, retrospectively. So my question, and the acting CEO may not be able to answer because you're new, but how can people be staff just disregard a requirement to use a portal, which is what's supposed to happen, and not happen? That's what I want to know. So if a CEO sends out memoranda in 2023 instructing people to follow the guidelines, use the portal, nothing is done, and it just goes so. No referral to HR, nothing written on a file, nothing. It just goes so. Who can guide this committee in answering that question?
I'm going to ask Mr. Ainsworth Buckridge, who is the Senior Director for Procurement, to provide a response.
Okay. Good morning again, Chairman.
What can you say? How long you've been in that post, sir?
Well, I've been in this post for approximately 10 years.
Okay.
I was removed, transferred to another department the 1st of February 2024 and reinstated the 2nd of February 2026.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and
explain
to us
that man, yeah.
why
Oh,
this
God,
wasn't being
anybody
followed,
done so.
the portal requirement.
Sir. Big and good for nothing, sir. Morning. Tell your tailor to introduce you to a gym and a health guru. Big and good for nothing. You need to look like ants. That size they not worth the things that will come out of your mouth, sir. Sir, we need to look down upon you when we are walk. With mind, we step upon you when we are walk. Big and good for nothing, sir. Big idiot and good for nothing. Look how taxpayer money blow to no up. And nothing in our no brain. Just so. You know, just come with the head them. So we are not at all upon them. We don't know we're here no we nothing. Uno just come with empty big heads, so the whole on. No, man. No, it's bad. Bad. Sir. Oh, God.
For procurement.
Well, what we, since my return, I've realized that based on the audit findings, that the portal is to be used 100% of the time. So
was it being used any of the time?
Yes, it was being used. What was done, all procurement over 10 million was being used, uploaded to the portal.
I want you to follow this line of argument carefully, because this is where it gets all fucked up. And when I say fucked up, I mean the literal sense of fucked up. Wanna listen carefully, no? Me say, wanna feel listen carefully, because my ears are my ears, funo ears are funo ears. Listen to the fuckery. Hey, Jesus Christ, this morning. Whoa, not a bomb in a Gilead.
And so what we have done now.
Was it that there was a misunderstanding that things below 10 million didn't need to go on the portal?
For the most part, I think there was a misunderstanding in terms of
all right, I'm going to allow him to, but you can hear from the members their concern about this.
When you move, I make the man talk, no?
And the fact that even though it's over 10 million, it is a very small number of the transactions that were done that were actually uploaded to the portal. So what I'm trying to understand is what would be the issue that would prevent people from uploading to the portal, and then this must have been, somebody must have seen that this wasn't being done. What was...
Yeah. These are the people who are put in place to make sure things work, you know. These are the people. Lord Jesus, come see us.
Being done to hold those persons accountable.
I think, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I think there was a lack of training and a lack of implementation of the policy, of the GOJ policy, which, as I've said from the beginning, Mr. Chair, that we are fully in agreement with the findings of the Auditor General. There has just been breaches after breaches and lack of implementation. And so they did not implement the policy as it should have been. We have now done that as of March 1. All, not some, all, no matter the size, must be on the portal and are being placed on the portal.
No, I appreciate it, Mr. Hosing, what you're doing going forward. I appreciate that. But I still need to understand why you said training and capacity. But I can't buy that because some of the transactions were being uploaded. So it's not that people never know, that people didn't know how to upload it. There's a reason people chose not to upload these transactions. And I need to know why. And in a scenario like this, how were people, what did people hold up their hand and say, well, I'm having a technical problem or nothing? And didn't somebody notice that these things weren't being done and say, listen, we must follow these GOJ requirements? That's because a circular was sent and basically ignored. And that's what I'm trying to understand. I appreciate what we're doing going forward, but we must understand what took place. And if something took place, what was done to correct it, etc. So I give you back the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chair. From my understanding, the circular, the procurement unit was not aware of this particular circular at the time.
No, hold on. Let me read. Procurement department members were instructed to strictly follow the circular dated June 3rd, 2023. So what? The circular never reached the people?
My I didn't understand that a while ago.
No,
My
I'm
apologies.
reading what the management's response is.
I thought you were mentioning the circular from the Ministry of
Yes,
of Finance.
the response of management.
Sir, you hear
I'm
me?
reading
One?
management's response.
This
The
man.
procurement department members were instructed to strictly follow the circular dated June 3rd, 2023. So what? From 2023 onwards, we were fully compliant?
No, Mr. Chairman. I think what the Auditor General explained is that the compliance and the memo to them to state they must follow the guideline was sent to them after the Auditor General had finished their work. They were being
So
told
they never saw this before?
they were not practicing it. Some were saying they never knew of it.
So that's what I want to know. So if that's so you're saying, sir, that wait, don't why you keep turning off your mic? Keep on your mic. You're saying that the staff in the procurement department were not aware of this requirement before the Auditor General came in?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
To have you on my dreamland would be like heaven to me. To have you on my dreamland would be like heaven to me. You know this sweet Jamaica we talk about. This my Jamaica we talk about. This brand Jamaica we talk about. This Jamaica of land, wood, and water. My Jamaica, sweet yam and dumpling. Now left your Jamaica. Una na pack up and run. Let me ask. Una wait for the milk and honey. When Marcia Griffith says she a plan figure dreamland go drink. And eat from bees and all of them something. Cause them fuckery they wanna wait and they couldn't get up and do nothing about them fuckery, you know. You understand? Una wait pan the milk and honey. And wait pan bees. They can't feed you know. Sit down. Sit down and wait. Nobody knows see what I go on.
Sorry. All right. Ministry of Finance have to help me here. So you're saying the procurement department only became aware of the need to do this after the Auditor General's report?
Yes, sir.
Why this get bizarre and bizarre and bizarre?
Bizarre.
But hold on, before I cut you. Ms. Blake, you have to help me as Ministry of Finance.
Hey,
this would be a circular which comes from the Ministry of Finance, which is sent to each ministry to be sent to each department, agency under the purview of each ministry, right? The U is a big entity.
Jamaica might as well we laugh it out, you know. Jamaica might as well we laugh it out. Be careful if you go cry and drop down with a hospital figure. You understand? So might as well we laugh it out. Can you say better down that John shop? Where we are going to go and what we are going to do? If the people decide not to stand up, if the people decide to accept the mediocre, what are we going to do? Lord. Wassara left back, you know. We don't reach Wassara yet. Wassara, that's what you see. Still left back a dot.
Not a party shop. It's not a little 1 and 2 shilling you spend. And you're going to say that nobody in the pocket. They were using it in 2021? So how, sir?
Oh, we started to use it, sir. We went on a training.
When?
In 2021. And we were told that there were 5 organizations that were being used as a pilot project.
Okay.
As it relates to GoJeb. And that is when we said we would start to use the even though we were not a part of that pilot, we had made a decision internally to start to use the system with 10 million and above.
So that decision was made by what? The procurement department?
The procurement department, sir.
From 2021?
Yes.
So everything from 2021 going forward, you would have been complying with everything 10 million or
10
more?
10 million and above, sir.
So even with that, the number, so all is what, 20 of 800? 800. So everything that was not put up was below 10 million? Couldn't be. It's only 20 of 800 transactions were uploaded to the portal. And you say you're doing 10 million or more. Is it that this 780 were below 10 million?
We do, yes, sir.
Yeah?
Because we do a lot of,
You sure? Make sure if you're not sure.
Well, I would have to have the empirical data.
Yes, if you're not sure, don't say that, because
So
that don't sound right to me. That can't be right.
If me the in front of that man, I would have to cuss bad word out of him or get up. Cause nothing make me tired like I'm going around in circle conversation. It makes me literally lose the energy. Trust me. That's why anybody me can talk to. If a conversation can't stimulate me, me gone.
Sorry, Miss Blake, I just want your intervention or somebody from your team in terms of when this portal was implemented and how the communication took place to the ministries, agencies, and departments. Just press your mic. So.
All right. Morning again. So we did have a pilot. So the system came about around 2016. We did have a pilot, and in 2023, we would have issued a guidance note indicating that it is mandatory, which was also followed up by a circular sent to all the public bodies, ministries, departments, and agencies. The Office of Public Procurement Policy would have also conducted training with public bodies regarding the use of GoJEP. And
Christopher, the easy jerk. Oh, no.
That a number of entities.
Sharon King, morning.
They're using the platform, but they're not using it fully. Right? And I know that the University Hospital of the West Indies has been using the platform, though not fully. In the sense that you're required to use the platform to advertise your procurements and then to close out your procurement and publish a contract award notice so that the public can see what contracts you are letting. What some entities do is they use it to advertise.
YouTube a shadow ban me, Christopher.
Close out the contract so that the public can be notified of the award of contracts. But we would have conducted training over the years since 2023.
Hit the like button globally. Hit the like button, please.
From time to time to entities on our mailing list, and University Hospital of the West Indies would be on that.
Well, let me ask you, because it's a systemic issue, and who monitors whether the government spends millions of dollars putting in a system like this? Is it that each ministry through the PS has the responsibility to monitor and determine whether there's compliance with this, or does that sit somewhere else? Because UHWI is not the only hospital, is not the only entity that would not be compliant. So to what extent would you be able to say what the overall compliance is in the public sector with this system?
Right, so the Office of Public Procurement Policy controls the GoJEP platform. And so we can see who use and who do not use the system. I can provide you with the exact data in terms of what the compliance level is. I mean, I can tell you though that it is the closeout of the contracts is low. The rate of usage is higher, but the closeout is low. But I can provide you with the exact data. What I'd say though is that Section 19 of the Public Procurement Act makes clear that the head of entity has the responsibility of ensuring that there's compliance with the Act, regulations, and administrative guidance that comes from the Office of Public Procurement Policy.
That's something I would like you, as a follow-up to the meeting, to provide that, because this goes to the heart of accountability. Taxpayers need to know how their funds are being spent. Once a procurement goes out, it is advertised, And then you need to know you have awarded a contract. We need to know who the contract was awarded to for and for how much. That's the heart of accountability and governance. So you're basically saying that you started in 2021, but again, I would like you as a follow-up, I don't want you to guess and spell, get the information from me, because what the report says is 20 out of 800, which is unacceptably low, and I can't accept that all of those 780 transactions would have been below 10 million, which would necessitate them not being uploaded. So get that data and provide it to the committee as a follow-up.
Okay, Chair.
Yes,
just a follow-up. He did say, though, Mr. Barrett, did you say the training for GoJeb was in 2023?
16.
I mean, we would have started before that, and it continued from year to year. So usually the Office of Public Procurement Policy would have trainings, particularly in the summers. We have summer series. In 2024, we had an Elevate Procurement Conference that had a lot of training around various aspects of public procurement.
And what was the amount that you would have to go on GoJeb for? Because I just did something as a member of parliament, and it was $5 million, and they had to go on the site.
So
I'm trying to understand, of the 20 that were published, does that mean then the 780 were below $5 million?
Right. So there's a mandatory requirement for using the GoJeb platform for anything above 1.5 million Jamaican dollars.
Listen.
For amounts below that, you are encouraged to use it, but it's not mandatory. But for anything above 1.5 million Jamaican dollars, there's a requirement for the system to be used.
So that's even crazier, because that means the University of the West Indies was purchasing stuff for below $1.5 million. Am I understanding correctly?
Well, the question I would ask is where the 10 million figure came from, that you decided you'd use 10 million and above, given that the government's requirement is 1.5 million.
Right.
So where did that figure come from? Somebody just pull it out of the ear? How? No, let me just ask, because maybe there's some rationale for the 10 million figure.
Okay, the rationale for the 10 million, it was an internal decision because of the training.
Which is adverse to government policy.
The department.
So the department made a decision. Was that sanctioned by the board or anybody?
To my
management?
To my understanding, at the time, it was mandated. 5 organizations, if I could remember, were doing the pilot project with GoJeb. So we at the time it was still a pilot project, but we at the time feel that we, in terms of learning the system, so when everything come on mainstream, the department would be of faith without to monitor the system, and that is how that 10 million came into.
Is there anybody in Jamaica who have been to school with this man, who knows this man? Because we all know that child amongst us who used to, before we get to school, him start by bulla and bag juice. And by the time he get to school with the sugar high, him already fall asleep saying, didn't know the fuck we're going in a class today. Somebody in Jamaica must have gone to school with this man. Can you tell us? Because this not just fall out of sky, so this was groomed from elementary right up to be done.
So basically a decision was taken to circumvent the system. I mean, that's what it is, because no, but you can't tell me no if it's only 20 out of 800 transactions were uploaded. Well, help me, Auditor General, if I'm wrong.
All right, so my understanding, Mr. Chairman, as the procurement director said, in 2021, they were invited to participate in the training for the GoJeb, how to use the system. The circular did not come into being until 2023, but the requirements, the mandatory upload of all procurement came in 2023. So in 2021, the UHWI participated in the training and they took the initiative. They were not required to upload to GoGEP. They took the initiative to upload and so that they would start with procurements at $10 million and above. What they failed to do was actually in 2023, and I can't speak to about their knowledge of the circular, but I know that they received training at some point in time in terms of how to use the system. They never went back and adjusted the policy that they had implemented. So they never transitioned from the pilot into and to regularize the adoption of the requirements of the ministry.
Halfway home.
I hear you.
Because I think they were doing it ad hoc. That's what we saw. They were just doing it ad hoc because they did not embed it in their control and governance process, which is what needs to be done.
That is correct, Auditor General.
Oh boy. All right, thank you. Again, so your follow-up is to provide for us a report once you get the facts as to the 780 transactions that were not uploaded, what size those were, and why those were not uploaded.
Okay, Chairman.
All right. All right, I go into key finding 3, which must be the most egregious of them. So somebody has to explain the absence of procurement document.
Yeah, so nice, eh? On a draft, on a drink, whether be a cup of tea, coffee, water. Nobody could not drink alcohol so early in the morning. Anyway, yes, so I go get judgment. On a call crowd because you know what we just saw in the dance hall version was early juggling. In the dance hall version, what we just saw was early juggling. You know, the bashment and the skin out and the music when make them go in a tree, go dance and dance pan the head top and jump off a soundbox and building, light in front of fire and all the fuckery in the name of entertainment and enjoyment. The problem, you know, as the Nigerians would say, see Mr. Trouble. See Mr. Trouble. And trouble just come pan all on the globalists. I would end with me something here. You all on see trouble you know. Why this thing come cover my screen? Yes, see trouble here.
Documentation. The University Hospital of the West Indies could not provide procurement documentation for 51 contracts. However, since then, 28 files valued at 269 million have been found, which means that we can find 22 and one is incomplete. So, and that the 22 that can be found is 246 million and one incomplete is 18 million. So again, just explain to us as a committee, when a procurement is completed, what is the process to put that document, whether it's physical storage, online on a server? Just explain that process to me. When I'm starting with the acting CEO and you can delegate, but this one to me is the worst one, that you just can't find documents. Even after the Auditor General has been in, you have found about half of them. And obviously you've been looking for the rest and you can't find them. So help us, Mr. Hosing.
The member asked where were they? When I was in position, I insisted that they must find them. And they were able to locate the 28 and then after
Look behind the dresser, look under the bed, look on top of the buffet and pan the chair them. Eh? They must find them, Mr. Hussein.
Those 28, they found one more, make it 29. They have so far been unable to locate anymore. They were in storage in a story room, but it was never provided to the auditors. When they came, even after requesting it, they did not provide it to them. But I insisted that they should. I don't think there was, I wasn't there, so I can't tell you whether it was resistance or what, member. It could have been, not lack of diligence and searching and insistence, but they were able to locate some. The search continues, but it is so far has not proven any further success.
Look around the bed corner, things have
So
a way
what
of
is
falling
the
round there.
standard operating procedure? I love this term. For when a procurement is complete, where those documents should be stored, clearly for audit purposes, for both internal and your external auditor, you have to keep your documentation, where those documents should be held, etc. What is that procedure?
I'll ask Mr. Buckley just to share with the
Yeah.
Listen to Buckley,
Yes, Chair. The standard operating procedure is that.
Lord, listen to Buckley, eh? Listen to Buckley, standard operating procedure. Jesus, are we a meeting? Are we banned for meeting? This have to be punishment. It cannot be anything else.
Each document procurement activity our file is filed in a file folder, and placed in a hard binder, and then transferred to a storage area where it can be retrieved. Upon my return to the unit, upon my return to the unit, I realized that this practice wasn't being followed. Hence, the reason why these files could not be located. And
so where would those files have been?
Those files should have been in a storage area. My understanding is that that area was flooded at least twice or three times based on heavy rainfall. That's my understanding.
Can you be more specific? Was that what were the dates of? Because let me tell you, you know why this one is so serious? We don't know whether you're not even in a position to make an assessment. And I don't want to conclude that it is deliberate, because I don't know. But given everything that we have seen, you could infer that.
Hey.
But to say there were 3 cases of flooding, when were those 3 cases of flooding? Because it's the first time we're hearing that.
Glorious baby, he named something another Buckley, but for the purpose of his intellectual capacity, we might as well call him Buckley.
I don't know if that was shared with the Auditor General's department. And if you are storing files in a place that flood out easy, you know, move it somewhere else, if that is the case. But help me on that one, because tell me when those flooding took place and whether those were reported to the board, to the internal audit committee, etc. Was there a request for removal to a different storage area? I need to know that. Well, let me ask him. Go ahead. So the three flooding out. Tell me when those took place.
Buckley.
No, he said there were 3 cases of flooding.
Yeah, 2 to 3 says Buckley.
No, but help us there.
Okay, so that was my understanding that the area was flooded.
When?
I didn't get the specific. I'm not aware of the specific. But
These-
while I was
Yeah.
not there, I understand that the area was flooded.
No, so, all right. Is there anybody who can, because this is the first, this wasn't reported to the Auditor General when she did her review. So it's the first time we're hearing this issue about flooding. So I would like, as part of your report, to tell us specifically when the flooding took place and whether when those incidents took place, whether management was informed, whether a corrective thing was put in place, whether it's flooding from the roof.
You remember local government told Pamela Monroe the same thing already? Flooding, rat, cockroach, and all sorts of things them mess up procurement and contract document. Why the environment do it so? Why the environment not leave with thinking them in peace when the environment so we put with something them down? I don't know nobody thought about the environment, you know. If it's not Melissa, it's Beryl, it's Raphael, it's rain, it's flood, it's rat, it's post, it's cockroach. It's really nothing to do with the thieves and the corrupt criminals who not only fail to do their job, but deliberately refuse to do it to aid their stealing.
Move the floor, whatever, to mitigate against that. We could never accept that 50% of documents valuing $280 million can be found because of flooding.
Come on, what you talking about? What the F are you talking about? Julian Robertson, did you not heard when Floyd Green said $870 million worth of procurement and contract document were inadvertently lost? Inadvertently lost. What are you talking about? Huh? Yeah, sir. Sir, mine not move.
Because flooding? I mean, you haven't even assessed the ones you have found yet to determine whether you're following proper procedure. Well, we need help. Who can help us with that?
We don't know.
Internal auditor? Who can help us with that? Because, yes, some were found, 28 were found. So it must be from the same era of flood out, where you find the 28th. So why can't the other 22 be found? Mr. Internal Auditor, help us here. We're, again, in conducting, you have to release your mic so I can turn on his. In conducting your internal, is that an issue which you identified and brought to the attention of the audit committee of the board or the CEO?
Thank you, Chair. Just for context.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just for context, the internal audit function had done.
You know what I like about the PAC committee? It's a gladiator sport where everybody is there battling for their survival. You notice how the labor right them defend Christopher Tufton in the committee and all of the disgraceful debacle coming out of his ministry in relation to this. They're playing gladiator sport.
6 reviews of procurement section, and the
what, sir? Hold on. Bear with the thingy.
We had looked at them just recently, Chair, right? But it has been institutionalized over a long period of time, and we have reviewed them and report them to the audit committee, and that is where it ends, Chair.
No, hold on. Help me again, because you are saying people put in place filing cabinet.
Yes, Chair.
Me have that in my yard, you know. Me have that in my yard. You can't tell me that the University Hospital at the West Indies that spend billions of taxpayers' money just put in place filing cabinet
Yes, Chair. Yes,
No,
Chair.
man, a joke
Filing
thing,
cabinets
this.
and hard folders.
Cabinets and hard folders?
Yes, Chair.
So what existed before?
How long may I tell you about the hardcover book of governance across the country? How long may I tell you now about the hardcover book? And a guard room, a police station alone had a big black hardcover book there, you know. Right across government in an age where we can use the bare minimum of technology by using a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet. I'm introducing the bare minimum here. When government have what is called bespoke system, the government of Jamaica system that all of these ministries and departments ought to be using. But the bare minimum of accounting can be done on an Excel spreadsheet. Not even that is not being done, because if it's been done on an Excel spreadsheet, we can keep a track and a record of things, and it will be there in the cloud. Excel, Word, and Access and PowerPoint, all of those, these are the basic administrations you can do from your computer. Anybody, any BODE can do. That's the basic. For just about anybody who has access to a phone or a computer. The basic. Not even that government is not utilizing to make sure we have electronic record. This is not accidental or because we can't afford it or because our society isn't equipped. All these are deliberate to steal. This is why they're not keeping record. This is why rain wet it. This is why breeze blow it. Rat piss span it. Cockroach crawl over it. It's not accidental. It's not lack of resources. It's not lack of training. It's deliberate stealing. You heard from Rosie Hamilton. You heard from Rosalie Hamilton. It's all deliberate. Nothing is happening here. But it's the same cycle. Every administration, it might get worse and arguable get worse under this administration. We have been battling with this for too long, of our taxpayer dollar been just squandered and enriched people, and we still have the broke down road, them no light, no water, no nothing, school, nothing.
Right. So, Chair, those recent procurement activity, the board, which is the audit committee, had asked the internal audit function to review audit, read the issue of GoJEP for the period October 2025 to December 2025. And they have asked that the function reviews whether the procurement department is conforming to the GoJEP requirement. We have reviewed it and asked what system they have put in place to mitigate that issue that the Auditor General had identified in terms of record keeping. And they had indicated in their response that they have put in filing cabinets and hard folders, and those procurement activities are stored in hard folders and filing cabinets. And we have reviewed them and confirmed that that is so, Chair.
So let me ask you, the files we can't miss, them walk out of the hospital and go up on Mona Road? No, seriously, help me. How can those, first we hear rainfall and wet up some files, right? And I would like that report, right? Formally. But how can so many files be missing? Somebody take them out of the hospital and go somewhere with them?
Just to say, Chair, in terms of the flooded, in one of our reviews, I think in 2020, that the internal audit reviewed. Don't hold me to that. I have to go back in the report. But they did mention, management did mention that there was an area flooded and they couldn't find some of the files. I did remember that in one of the reviews, Chair.
But if it's one thing to say the file them wet up, you know. May I understand if you tell me say the file them wet up. But if you tell me say you can't find the files, that should be in. So before the filing cabinets, which seem to be a great innovation of 2026.
Julian Robertson, paper float per what? I come about my business. You see, if you don't want my respond to my golden, I have to go come back this evening. Because may I go catch sun out the road. May I go catch sun. Me nah make this mad me. If you don't want to run off to Bellevue, you can go on. Me not have rope for all and John back. So me I go catch sun, but me I come back to Mark Golden and Dennis Garden this evening. And me I come back to Christopher Tufton and Andrew Holness this evening. And me I go tell Mark Golden how I would do this thing if I were the leader of the opposition.
Put things in filing cabinet. Where were these things being stored before?
As the senior director of public procurement said, Chair, they were in a storeroom. And just placed
what kind of storeroom?
Just in a holding area.
Yeah.
Where they would store.
Like the shed at the back of my yard when I put my lawnmower in it?
No, Chair. In the procurement unit, Chair.
Yeah.
Listen, people are watching, you know. And people are going to think a joke business this, you know.
Yes.
No, people really going to think it's a joke thing that we can be saying in 2026 that institution that spends billions of dollars just putting in filing cabinet. And file jacket, and you are storing these in a holding area that flood out 3 times.
Why not? You see something? You see anything wrong with that?
Nobody is held accountable.
Why?
And you don't need to be. Listen, nobody.
How much are we Dr. Tufton kill? How much are we baby Dr. Tufton kill? This is water off a duck back. This is water off a duck back. When you figure count up the amount that we Tufton kill and the amount of baby Tufton kill, all them your maladministration is water off a duck back. So I don't know what you are talking about, Julian Roberts. I don't know what you're talking about.
Needs to be a procurement specialist and accounting professional to know that that is basic. I would like the report on that formally to be brought back to the committee because I can't accept it. I cannot accept that in this day and age, this is where we're at. Cannot accept that.
Why not?
And I don't have enough evidence to conclude that this is deliberate, and I won't say it. But it is hard not to come to that conclusion.
Hold on, me talk about the hard
files. So you have the Auditor General do a report. You'll search hard, high and low, up and down, and it's only 50% of the file them you can find?
Remember, Andrew did search and Andrew never find a soul, even when he was the chief of thief and the chief on the investigation for illicit enrichment. It's not new, Julian Robinson. Stop going like you come from foreign. When you, where you book up your new? Man, go on, yeah?
If you tell me, so them wet up and have to dry. I thought we were now in the age where we were moving things from physical to electronic records, to scan things, so them dep on a server, etc., etc. I thought that's where we were.
Big
that
old
we were not totally dependent on physical files that can get lost or fire or water.
Big old hospital.
Have mercy.
Have you ever been given such an All Fool's Day present or an April's Fool's Day present? If this doesn't synchronize with the April's Fool tradition, then please provide me your best. But to hear my analysis of the bullshit and the fuckery from Buckry, then you will have to come back this evening. Alrighty? Because we're going to catch sun out. We now make this mad way. Because we know say we meet worse. Tough time just imagine how much we going to kill this year. If we going to keep it at the 15,000. Or if we going to step it up, but we know tough time not turn it down. Because tough time send home the Cuban healthcare worker and say we feel better for our own. But Mark Golden, when you come back tonight, because I'm going to address the PNP tonight, I'm going to tell the PNP also how I would do a political swing. How I would do a political swing in this. And we'll also speak to Mark Golden decision making tonight as well, and the people who Mark Golden are choosing. But Dennis Gordon, and Christopher Tufton, join us tonight. It will be, because the breakdown when me come for this morning, me couldn't have it because I have to make you hear this. When it comes to news carrying, you can't carry them type of news here. You have to make people hear out of the horse's mouth. So we're going to come back for the Wahala this evening. Uno join us this evening for the Wahala. All like you, sir, Chief Executive, you hear me not bad about you none at all? None at all. Not bad about you because the fact that your face, Mr. Acting Executive, tells me that someone is pointing a gun at you, then I wouldn't want to add more pain to your misery. So your face alone, the pain and stress that they have trusted you into, will just print out upon you. You see, me left you alone, sir? Mr. Hudson. Mr. Hudson, you hear me never bother with you at all. It's just buckery and the fuckery. But globalist, you no go on. Go on, globalist. You no come back tonight. Because you're not done yet, you know. You're not done yet. Thank you for being here with us. Let us continue to protest. We cannot stay silent. If this is all that we can do, then we must use our voices. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So that's why I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way, prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime, fight down. Me say Rastafari, war and crime, and do that righteousness. And we love, and we love Jaja, and we love Jaja, Rastafari, and we love Jaja. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and fight. Fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and crime. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Me love Jah. Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah. Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.